Warning: this tutorial contains the use of medical syringes. This is a fairly dangerous yet helpful tool and is to only be under the supervision or used by adults or persons over the age of 18. The improper use of this, for example, randomly injecting yourself, once an air bubble gets within your veins and travels its way to the heart, it can cause a fatal heart attack. Please be careful with these tools and do not leave it laying around the household or access to children, and dispose of them responsibly. Thank you. Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the What Kind of Man at YouTube with a tutorial on a very easy method of creating rivets of various sizes or scales. I'm going to be using large ones and we're going to be using a controlled syringe. This is a diabetic style one which I acquired from my grandmother, and PVA glue. The idea of this tutorial was found in the suggestion column of a fine scale modeler magazine. I believe it is a fairly old issue. They went through the process and figured out how to get fairly good results. This video will share what I have discovered. The best method I found on getting the PVA glue, which is quite thick, is via the back by pushing the nozzle right into it and squeezing a bit of glue about a third of the way in, and pushing the plunger straight back in, cleaning the needle of any gunk. This may be a bit tricky, but you don't have to push too much in there. It can be continuously refilled as long as the glue does not dry within the needle. Obviously it's one use, and once you're done with your session it's to be completely sealed up. Probably safe to tape it up and dispose of it. Now, for most of us, operating a syringe, especially such a thick liquid, is something we haven't done before in creating uniform dots and dotting it on a surface. Practice on a bit of cardboard until you get a uniform size you like. You'll be quite surprised that once you build up a bit of glue at the end of the needle and dab down, you can get quite a variety of sizes, from quite big to almost pin drops. I've noticed with the big ones they have a tendency of drying flat, so practice for a while until you're very happy with the uniform look. Note, if you're unhappy you can wipe it away before it dries. This is a test piece of styrene, but you can pretty much treat it as if we're about to do it on a model. Make sure the surface is clean. Wash the runners if necessary, because the tiny bit of grease from your fingers or anything on the plastic will definitely make the PVA not adhere to the surface. Dot the surface of where exactly you want the rivets so it's very easy to apply without concentrating once the syringe is in your hand. With the practice session we just achieved, dotting it on can be quite easy. You might have to do it if your model's in one piece in multiple sessions, as you might need to hold a surface where there may be rivets. Once applied, allow to dry for a few days. Apply a coat of primer and it's quite safe to handle a riveted surface without the rivets peeling off. Notice in the video, if a couple of the rivets have an irregular shape or you're unhappy, wipe them away with your finger or a cotton bud and reapply. Keep doing so until you're happy. Also notice that the rivets that I'm doing are considered quite large and probably perfect for 35th scale or larger. Finer rivets can be achieved, but I'm going for a diesel punk sci-fi look. Once the rivets become completely clear, you know that they're 100% dry and ready for a coat of primer before handling or painting. Once painted and a bit of weathering techniques or whatnot applied, they pop up nicely and definitely break up a fairly unified or very blank look. This result that I get is still not 100% perfect, though looking at actual riveted items from the Second World War or earlier, rivets are never really placed in perfectly linear orders, or sometimes not symmetrical onto surfaces of an area. Sometimes when there are hammer rivets from Victorian period, some rivets may even vary in sizes, so you do not have to be too focused on being 100% perfect, accurate, symmetrical, straight, or whatnot. This isn't 100% necessary as long as it doesn't look too messy and you got giant blobs or irregular shapes like lines. This concludes my tutorial. Here's a current work in progress of a 1144 no grade Zoc with massive rivets to give it a bit of a diesel punk look. Once all airbrushed up and finished, it's definitely going to stand out and have a completely different look to just a normal painted kit. Feel free to give this technique a go and practice and whatnot. It was a lot of fun, a lot quicker, and a lot less tedious than cutting up tiny fine rods of styrene or using a needle at the back of plastic or, God forbid, photo etched rivets. Catch you guys later.